How do you fix a 405 method not allowed HTTP error? Imagine trying to open a door and finding it locked, even though you know the key fits. That's what a 405 method not allowed error feels like when working with web APIs. It's a common issue in backend development and API design, but don't worry, it's fixable. When you see this error, it means the server recognizes your request but refuses to process it because the method you used isn't supported for that resource. So, how do you get past this? Let's walk through it step by step. First, check if the HTTP method you're using matches what the server expects. For example, if you send a POST request to create data, but the server only allows GET requests for that endpoint, you'll get a 405 error. Look at your API documentation or server code to see which methods are permitted. Next, review your server configuration files. If you're using a server like Apache or Nginx, they might have rules blocking certain methods. For instance, Apache's htaccess file or Nginx's configuration could restrict put or delete requests. Adjust these rules to explicitly allow the methods your API needs. Then, verify your backend application code. Roots in frameworks like Express.js, Django, or ASP.NET Core need to handle the HTTP methods you plan to use. If your root only accepts GET requests, sending a POST will cause a 405 error. Make sure the root definitions include all necessary methods. Also, consider cross-origin requests. Browsers send an options request before the actual request to check if the method is allowed, known as a preflight request. If your server doesn't respond properly to options, you'll see this error. Implement support for options and set the correct cross-origin resource sharing headers. Don't forget to check server logs. They can tell you exactly what request was made and why it was rejected. This information helps identify if the problem is in your server setup or application code. Testing your API with tools like Postman or curl is also useful. Try different methods on your endpoints to see which ones work and which don't. This helps isolate the issue. If you find mismatches between your server settings and your application code, update either the configuration or the code to match. For example, if your server blocks POST requests but your app needs to send POST, you need to change the server rules. Sometimes recent changes cause the problem. Restoring your server or application to a previous working state might be necessary if you're stuck. Remember, understanding HTTP methods is key in backend development. GET retrieves data, POST submits data, PUT updates existing data, and delete removes data. If your API doesn't support these methods properly, clients will get a 405 error. By checking your allowed methods, configuring your server correctly, and handling preflight options requests, you can fix this error and make your API more reliable. It's all about making sure your server and application agree on which methods are allowed for each resource. Once you do that, your API will respond smoothly, and your users will have a better experience.